stood by Xiao Yu through the bloody struggle for the throne. I helped him ascend to the throne. Yet on the very first day of his reign,
he had me turned into a human swine. He ordered me to be carried to Su Waning's grave every day.
I didn't understand. Why would he do this to me? All he said was,
"You killed her. You owe her a life."
Finally, I understood. He believed that I schemed to kill Su Waning to secure the title of crown princess for myself. I heard it was Miss Su who fell from her horse that year. Before I could finish, my tongue was cut out.
Laughed through my tears with a hoarse voice.
In despair, I closed my eyes. When I opened them again, I had returned to the day the Emperor of Dachi chose the crown prince's consort.
You have come of age. It's time to choose your principal consort. Speak. Whom do you wish to appoint as crown princess?
In my opinion, Yuer will surely choose Qing Yuan. They have been close since childhood.
The entire court knows this. In terms of talent, beauty, and virtue, I far surpass Su Waning. I was always the designated crown princess. The emperor's question was merely to hear my name from Xiao Yu's lips. But in this life, Xiao Yu looked at me coldly. In his eyes was undisguised disgust and resentment. I understood instantly. He had been reborn too.
Father, mother, your son has long had someone in mind.
Oh? Let us hear it.
Your son wishes to appoint Su Waning as crown princess.
The hall erupted in murmurs.
This is no trivial matter. Wanning is fine, but she is still young, and she has not been in the palace long. I fear she may not be up to the task.
Mother, Wanning and I are deeply in love. I will marry no one but her. As for Qing Yuan,
He turned to look at me. His expression was indifferent.
she has managed the Eastern Palace as a secondary consort for years. She must be tired. It's a good chance for Wanning to learn how to manage things.
She's destined to take that seat anyway.
It's good for her to get familiar with it early.
Nearly laughed out loud. Well, destined to take that seat anyway. So all my efforts over the past decade or so, in his words, were merely paving the way for Su Waning. That's all. Since you are so obsessed with Su Waning, then I shall let you have her. Slowly stepped forward. I straightened my sleeves and bowed.
Father.
This subject, Qing Yuan, acknowledges my lack of talent and virtue, and my plain appearance. I am unworthy of His Highness the Crown Prince. Since the Crown Prince's heart belongs to another, I am willing to withdraw from the selection, to allow His Highness and Miss Su to be together. Xiao Yu was clearly taken aback. He probably didn't expect me to let go so decisively.
Since consort Qing Yuan is so understanding, I beg you, Father, to issue the decree immediately to install Wanning as crown princess. Nonsense!
The installation of a consort is a matter of state. How can you treat it so frivolously? Qing Yuan has been in the Eastern Palace for 8 years. Her conduct is witnessed by all in the court. With just a word, understanding.
You think you can dismiss her?
Father.
Don't you know?
His words cut off abruptly. He also knew that the matter of rebirth was too bizarre. If spoken aloud, he would likely be deemed delusional. The Emperor looked at him in this state, his brow deeply furrowed. Finally, it all dissolved into a long sigh.
We will discuss this matter later. Court is dismissed.
Xiao Yu said nothing more. He shot me a fierce glare, turned, and stormed out of the hall. I knew exactly what he was going to do.
At this moment,
Su Waning has not yet fallen from her horse. There is still time to change everything. Stood rooted to the spot, feeling the weight of countless gazes from all directions. A bitter smile tugged at the corner of my mouth. Decades of marital affection in my past life. It turns out it was all just an illusion.
Qing Yuan, come with me.
Inside the imperial study, incense smoke curled from the bronze censer. The Emperor dismissed the attendants, leaving only him and me seated opposite at the tea table by the window.
He personally poured a cup of tea and pushed it toward me. His voice was much gentler than in the hall. Tell me, why did you withdraw today?
What your son said earlier was entirely true.
You entered the palace at 6. By 10, you were assisting the Empress with palace affairs. At 16, you took charge of the Eastern Palace's inner court. Not a single mistake in 8 years. If that is called lacking talent and virtue, then are all the women in the palace mediocrities? Said nothing.
I merely gently stroked the warm teacup.
Was it yours attitude that chilled your heart?
Looked up at him.
The Emperor's face bore deep weariness. The wrinkles at the corners of his eyes were sharply defined. This once formidable ruler had truly grown old. Father.
You intend to agree to the Crown Prince's request?
Don't you? The Emperor's hand trembled slightly. He remained silent for a long time. Finally, he let out a long sigh. He rose and walked to the window, gazing at the darkening sky outside. Qing Yuan.
Have grown old. He spoke these words very softly, yet they carried immense weight. In recent years, my health has declined day by day. That bout of illness 3 months ago, The imperial physicians consulted for 3 days to pull me back from death's door. The physicians privately told me I have, at most, 3 to 5 years left. I was stunned.
I always thought the Emperor was in decent health. After all, in my previous life, he didn't pass away until 3 years after Xiao Yu ascended the throne.
The great Qi needs a strong-willed successor. Among the princes, the eldest is indecisive. The second is obsessed with calligraphy and painting. The third has too much ambition, but lacks the magnanimity to match it. Only Yur has the skill, the decisiveness, and the ruthlessness. These are essential for an emperor.
So you chose the Crown Prince, and you tolerate all his actions.
Not tolerate. It's a necessity. Moreover, Su Wanning is not standing alone. The Empress Dowager dotes on her, as if she were her own granddaughter. Do you know why?
Shook my head.
Su Wanning's birth mother was the Empress Dowager's niece, lost to the common folk in her youth. Not many know this. The Empress Dowager feels guilty towards her, and has transferred all that guilt into compensating Su Wanning.
I see. In my past life, I only knew the Empress Dowager favored Su Wanning. I didn't know this was the reason.
That's not even the most critical part. Su Wanning's brother, Su Meng, is currently guarding the northern border. He commands 100,000 Su family troops. 3 months ago, the northern Di invaded. Su Meng led the army to a great victory. His prestige in the military is at its peak.
You fear the Su family.
They hold military power. They also have the Empress Dowager's favor. If I suppress them forcefully, I fear it might incite a mutiny. Yor needs the Su family's support to solidify his position. We can only turn a blind eye. Qing Yuan, I know you've been wronged. But within the royal family, sentiment must always yield to expediency. The affection of these years, I remember it all. Even if you don't become the crown princess, I will still find you a good match to ensure your wealth and comfort for the rest of your life.
I thank your majesty for your great kindness. However, since I have withdrawn, I wish to have no further ties to the Eastern Palace. I beg your majesty to permit me to move out, to reside in a separate residence.
The emperor is stunned. You wish to leave?
Yes.
Qing Yuan, are you certain about this? Once you leave, it will be difficult to return.
Am certain. The emperor stares at me for a long time. Finally, he waves his hand.
Very well, as you wish.
Leave the imperial study. The sky has grown completely dark. Palace lanterns light up one by one, casting a dim, lonely glow on the long palace path. As soon as I return to the side hall's courtyard gate, I hear commotion inside. Xiao Yu is there with Su Wanning, directing several eunuchs to move my trunks and boxes. What is the meaning of this, Your Highness?
I heard you're moving out of the Eastern Palace. Playing the retreat to advance card is quite clever.
Sister, why be in such a hurry to leave? You've been in the Eastern Palace for years. Even if not as the principal consort, you should at least keep the position of a secondary consort. Your Highness, don't you agree? That won't be necessary. Since Miss Su is to take charge of the Eastern Palace, my staying would only create awkwardness. It's better to make a clean break.
What is it you truly want? Gold and silver? A mansion? Speak up, I will grant it to you.
I want nothing. Here are the account ledgers for all departments of the Eastern Palace, the personnel roster, and the Phoenix token for mobilizing the guards. I return them all today. Xiao Yu stares at the Phoenix token. His eyes flicker slightly. This is the Eastern Palace's Phoenix token. It symbolizes the Crown Princess's authority over internal affairs. It has been passed down since the time of the founding emperor. It holds extraordinary significance. Su Wanning walks towards me, eagerly picking up the token. She traces the intricate patterns on its surface. Her eyes are full of glee and triumph. Wait.
What's wrong? Having regrets?
Shook my head. I pulled out a silk scroll from the bottom of a wooden box. This is the layout map of the Crown Prince's covert network, including private agreements with 7 prominent families in the capital, and the contact codes for 3 spy outposts. These covert lines were not easy to establish. I hope Your Highness will handle the transition carefully. Xiao Yu took it and quickly scanned through the contents. His expression gradually turned grave. These covert lines. In my past life, I didn't fully control them until 5 years after my ascension. With Miss Su's intelligence, she should be able to manage these, right?
Rest assured, miss.
Wanning will spare no effort. Nodded and said nothing more. The Crown Prince's residence stands firm as a rock solely due to my years of painstaking efforts, maneuvering both openly and in secret. There's no room for the slightest error. These treacherous waters, she won't be able to navigate them.
You may leave now. Move out by the end of the day. From now on, the Crown Prince's residence has nothing to do with you.
Wait. Since Sister Qing Yuan is no longer part of the Crown Prince's household,
According to palace rules, she shouldn't retain the privileges of a concubine, should she?
Since you're leaving, sister,
You should make a clean break. Your Highness, the Crown Prince, what do you say?
is this your highness's wish? He stood there, his gaze shifting. Ultimately, he avoided my eyes.
Those few seconds of silence hurt more than any words.
How dare you?
Qing Yuan has been in the Crown Prince's residence for over a decade. Even if she is not the Crown Princess, she is still half a master here.
Father, Wanning is right. Since a decision has been made, it should be a clean break.
If it is your highness's will, this subject obeys the decree. I surveyed everyone in the study. My gaze finally settled back on Xiao Yu. He instinctively turned his face away, his fingers nervously clutching his sleeve. However, since we're on the subject, there are some accounts that need to be settled. I began managing the affairs of the Eastern Palace at 16. That was 8 years ago. Su Wanning let out a scornful laugh. Xiao Yu shot her a look to stop her. For the past 5 years, every matter in the palace I have handled flawlessly, earning praise from all officials, bringing your highness great honor. In these 8 years, I have cut costs and increased revenue for the Eastern Palace. The silver I've saved and earned in total amounts to tens of millions of taels, not to mention the intangible merit of stabilizing relations with all factions. Xiao Yu bit his lip hard. How could he not know what all this meant? In my past life, the reason I stood firm in the succession struggle was precisely this solid foundation. The royal family raised me for 16 years. I earned tens of millions in profit for the Eastern Palace. This account, how should it be settled? How should it? This brocade palace gown must be worth at least 100 taels. Tisk tisk. This Hetian jade is probably worth over 1,000 taels. And this pair of bracelets were bestowed by the emperor himself. Priceless. Which of these does not belong to the Eastern Palace? Endured her pulling and humiliating me. My gaze remained fixed on Xiao Yu. His nails were digging into his palms, yet he remained silent. Your Highness, does over a decade of affection truly count for nothing? His eyelashes fluttered slightly. He said nothing. I thought I had let go after being reborn. But now, it feels like a piece of my heart has been carved out. The pain is almost suffocating. I forced down my emotions. I raised my hand and untied the knot of the jade pendant at my waist. The mutton-fat white jade fell to the ground. It made a crisp sound, rolled a few times on the bluestone slab, and stopped at Xiao Yu's feet. He glanced down at it. His foot twitched slightly, but he did not bend to pick it up.
Qing Yuan, there's no need for this, Father.
Palace rules are palace rules. One by one, the jade pendant, the bracelets, the gold hairpin, the pearl earrings, the necklace at my collar. Neatly arranged them on the stone table. Under the dim palace lantern, these jewels and ornaments gleamed with a cold light. Finally, I untied the sash of my outer palace gown. The brocade outer robe slipped to the ground, revealing the plain, thin underrobe beneath. Stand barefoot on the cold stone floor. The chill creeps up from my soles, seeping all the way into my heart. Su Wanning looks at me, her chin held high, her eyes brimming with smug satisfaction. Xiao Yu's face, however, begins to pale. His gaze falls on my old, simple dress. As I reach up to remove the last jade hairpin, he finally turns his face away. The Emperor strides in and grabs my wrist. Qing Yuan, stop! Calmly, I place the gold hairpin on the pile, gently freeing my hand from his grasp. I offer him one final bow. My posture is flawless, impeccable. From this day forward, I am only Qing Yuan. No longer the Eastern Palace's concubine. Take my leave. With that, I turn, bare feet on the icy stone, and walk toward the courtyard gate.
Your Highness, see how stubborn Qing Yuan is, so headstrong.
Xiao Yu does not respond, and I do not look back. As I step out of the side hall's courtyard, the late autumn night wind cuts through my thin clothes like a knife. The area outside is already crowded with palace servants and eunuchs. Seeing me emerge in this state, a wave of hushed whispers rises.
Did you hear? Crown Prince threw this concubine out. Didn't even let her keep her outer robe. Serves her right. She had it coming, clinging to her position. Miss Su is the one in the Crown Prince's heart.
Keep my eyes downcast.
Punching my shoulders, avoiding their prying stares. My voice hoarse. Make way. A low ripple of mocking laughter spreads through the crowd. Someone deliberately steps closer, their gaze lingering on me.
Pulled my robe tighter around me and hurried forward. But someone tripped me from behind. I was caught off guard and fell forward. My forearm slammed hard against the edge of a stone step. It hurts so much. Blood quickly soaked through my plain white sleeve, spreading into a glaring red. Gritting my teeth, I pushed myself up. Covering the wound, I kept walking.
Stop pretending to be pitiful. You should have left long ago.
I didn't respond. I pretended not to hear. Pressing on the wound, as I reached a corner in the palace corridor, a familiar figure stood there. It was Ching He. Her eyes were red. She held a slightly worn cotton cloak in her arms. "Don't come over. Don't get involved because of me." Ching He's lips trembled. In the end, she could only stand there, watching me stagger away, until I disappeared at the end of the corridor. I don't know how long I walked. The wound was still bleeding. The cold made me dizzy. Couldn't hold on anymore. I turned into a quiet palace path. Leaning against the cold palace wall, I slowly slid down to sit. So cold. So much pain. The wound is bleeding. My heart is bleeding too. In my past life, that agony before death seems to have returned. Closed my eyes. My consciousness began to fade. Perhaps dying once more like this would be for the best. Just as my consciousness was about to sink into darkness, the faint sound of footsteps came from the alley entrance. A mink fur cloak, still warm with body heat, was gently wrapped around me. Struggled to open my eyes. In the hazy glow of the palace lanterns, I saw a handsome face with sharp features. His brows and eyes were like a painting. His aura was noble and refined.
Miss Qingyuan, I am Murong Che.
Murong Che, the crown prince of northern Liang, rumored to be out of favor, who carved his own path through the bloody struggle for the throne. Murong Che crouched down in front of me. He gently examined the wound on my arm. He took out a small white jade vial from his robes. He pulled out the stopper and carefully sprinkled pale green medicinal powder onto the injury. The moment the powder touched my flesh, it brought a cool, stinging sensation. Then the bleeding stopped.
It's the secret royal hemostatic powder of northern Liang.
Then he took out plain white gauze from his sleeve and skillfully bandaged me up. "Don't worry."
It won't leave a scar.
Stared blankly as he finished all this. "Your Highness, why are you here?" Murong Che looked up. His deep eyes held an unexpected gentleness.
I have eyes and ears in Dachi.
He spoke so directly, it left me at a loss for how to react.
3 years ago, I came to Dachi once as an attendant to a Liang envoy.
Murong Che helped me sit steadily against the wall. Then he sat down an arm's length away from me.
Back then, my mother had just been deposed due to court intrigue. My position in the northern Liang court was precarious. My visit to Dachi was nominally for travel, but in reality, it was to escape danger. One day, I was hiding in the imperial garden, crying. My heart was heavy with pent-up frustration, feeling there was no place for me in this world anymore. Then, a little girl in a plain white dress walked over.
He turned his face to look at me. His eyes reflected the scattered light of the palace lanterns. My breath hitched slightly.
She was holding a small food box. Seeing me sitting there, she came over and handed me a piece of still warm osmanthus cake. She said, "Eat something sweet. You'll feel better."
"Then you won't cry." 3 years ago, late autumn, the Imperial Garden. I remember now. I had just taken over procurement matters for the Eastern Palace and uncovered an embezzlement case. It implicated a distant relative of the Empress's family. I braved the pressure and presented the evidence to the Emperor. Ultimately, that person was punished. Unexpectedly, I didn't even offend the Empress. I was in a good mood those days, so I often went for walks in the Imperial Garden. I'd bring some pastries I made myself. I did run into a young man once. He wore the simple clothes of an envoy's attendant, sitting alone in a corner. His lonely silhouette looked as if the whole world had abandoned him. I didn't know who he was back then. Just saw the sorrow in his expression, so I shared a piece of osmanthus cake with him.
It's you!
It was me. Didn't know who you were then. Only remembered an old scar on your wrist, shaped like a bite mark. Later, I inquired in many places and learned that you were Lady Qingyuan, raised in the palace, the crown prince's concubine.
He paused for a moment. A shadow flickered in his eyes.
And then, later on, I heard you managed the Eastern Palace impeccably. Heard you helped the crown prince stabilize the court.
So you planted a spy in the Eastern Palace?
Yes. No, it's not an honorable tactic. But the relationship between Liang and Dachi is delicate. I needed to know the movements of Dachi's heir apparent. And also, I wanted to know if you were doing well.
My heart stirred slightly.
This afternoon, my spy sent a secret report. It said you were publicly humiliated by the crown prince and would be cast out with nothing. So I immediately entered the palace, using border military affairs as a pretext to discuss with the Emperor of Dachi. But in truth, I waited outside the palace gates the whole time.
So that's how it was. So none of it was a coincidence.
Qingyuan, come back to Liang with me.
Was stunned.
Liang isn't as prosperous as Dachi, but at least, by my side, no one can humiliate you. I'll give you a new identity, a new life. You can do whatever you wish. No longer trapped in the deep palace, no longer bowing and scraping to anyone.
A cold wind swept through the alleyway, stirring the stray hairs on his forehead. I looked at the sincerity in his eyes. The stagnant pool in my heart actually rippled for a moment. Why? We only met once.
Murong Che fell silent for a moment, then let out a soft laugh.
Sometimes, one glance is enough.
My eyes suddenly grew warm. In my past life, for 20 years, I gave everything for Zhao Yu. All I got in return was cruel punishment and the words, repent. In this life, I walked barefoot out of the Eastern Palace. Covered in wounds, yet someone said to me, come with me. By my side, no one will ever humiliate you again. Your Highness, if I follow you to Liang, it would be treason.
You are not the traitor. It is the Dachi royal family that has betrayed you.
I hung my head, silent for a long time. I could feel my heart pounding. Time slipped through my fingers. The sun dipped below the horizon. The light shifted. Finally, I nodded, and he bent down and lifted me steadily into his arms. I gasped softly. Instinctively, I grabbed his lapel.
Forgive my impropriety. Your feet are injured. You shouldn't walk.
Holding me, he strode toward a black carriage at the alley's end. The carriage curtain fell, shutting out the world outside. The compartment was spacious and very warm. Murong Che carefully settled me onto a soft cushion. Then he took a thin blanket from a hidden compartment and draped it over me. I leaned against the carriage wall, listening to the wheels rolling over the cobblestones, feeling an unprecedented sense of peace.
Rest now. It will be another 2 hours before we reach the post house.
I closed my eyes. Just before my consciousness sank into darkness, I asked softly, Murong Che, aren't you afraid that taking me in will bring you trouble? I heard him laugh. Having you is enough. The next day, in the Eastern Palace bedchamber, Xiao Yu was staring blankly at a pot of orchids. Qing Yuan had planted these orchids with her own hands 3 years ago. She said their noble character was worthy of a crown prince. Whispers from the maids drifted in from outside the door. Yesterday, concubine Qing Yuan left the palace in only a thin dress. Such impropriety! She's brought shame upon the entire Eastern Palace. If His Highness hadn't remembered their past affection, she wouldn't even have kept her personal belongings. She's just a concubine kept by the royal family. Once she loses favor, she's no different from a stray dog. I heard the concubine fell after leaving. She got a nasty gash on her forearm. There's also a hideous old scar on her forearm. How pitiful. Forearm, old scar. Xiao Yu's heart gave a violent jolt. Yulong. Su Wening's beaming smile made Xiao Yu sense something was off.
The rumor about Qing Yuan being expelled from the palace in a skirt was spread by you.
Of course, perfect. Now the whole palace knows what kind of person Qing Yuan is. No one will dare criticize your decision to make me your consort anymore.
Xiao Yu forced a faint smile. But inside, he felt restless. The image of Qing Yuan bleeding wouldn't leave his mind. He suddenly grabbed Su Wening's hand and pulled her into his embrace. Su Wening thought he was overcome with passion, her eyes shimmering.
Yulong, was last night's intimacy not enough? Do you want more already?
Xiao Yu said nothing. He just reached out and gently stroked her forearm. After looking at it 3 times, his heart sank. He didn't find what he was looking for. After a moment's hesitation, he abruptly pushed Su Wening away and strode toward the side hall. He found Qinghe.
Qinghe, tell me, did Qing Yuan have an old scar on her forearm? A scar shaped like a bite mark, gruesome and terrifying?
Qinghe was grieving her mistress's departure. The crown prince's sudden intrusion startled her. Hearing his words, a pang of sorrow washed over her.
Your Highness, the consort did have an old scar on her forearm. It resembled a bite mark. It was from 7 years ago.
That year, she was carried back, soaked to the bone. Her arm was a bloody mess. She ran a high fever for 3 days and nights before waking up. But when she woke, she wouldn't say a word. She only said she fell by accident. Xiao Yu froze. Memories flooded back. 7 years ago, in the height of summer, he was 15. Reckless youth, he sneaked into the cold pond deep in the Imperial Garden to swim. The cold pond was fed by an underground spring. Even in summer, its water was icy. He slipped into the deep end. He wasn't a strong swimmer. Struggling, he choked on water. His consciousness began to fade. As the frigid water filled his mouth and nose, he thought he was surely going to die. Then someone grabbed him. That person used all their strength to lift him above the water, carried him to the medical office. In his dazed state, he could only feel how thin and frail the person carrying him was. Yet they clenched their teeth and refused to let go. It was so cold. He instinctively opened his mouth and sank his teeth into the person's forearm. The person's body stiffened abruptly, but they only offered gentle reassurance. Your Highness, don't be afraid. The Imperial physician will be here soon. When he woke up, he was lying on a bed in the Eastern Palace. Su Wening was keeping watch by his bedside. The Imperial physician said that after drowning, cold had invaded his body, triggering a sudden illness. Fortunately, a woman risked her life to save him. She even transferred her vital energy to sustain his life. That woman was already cold-natured. After the energy transfer, she nearly stopped breathing.
He had to be carried back by the palace servants, Xiao Yu weakly asked Su Wanning.
Was it you who saved me?
Su Wanning at that moment was momentarily startled. Then her eyes reddened. She said softly, "As long as your highness is all right." She didn't deny it. Xiao Yu became convinced that Su Wanning had saved him. But upon careful reflection, he had never seen a scar on Su Wanning's forearm, because Su Wanning never easily exposed her arms. But Qing Yuan... Xiao Yu stood frozen in place, devastated. So, he had been wrong all along, mistaking fish eyes for pearls, mistaking his benefactor for an enemy. All these years of obsession with Su Wanning and disdain for Qing Yuan were all just a joke built on lies. Night has fallen. The Eastern Palace is brightly lit. The imperial relatives have all arrived. Their faces are all smiles, congratulating Su Wanning on being chosen as crown princess. Although the official decree hasn't been issued yet, the crown prince has publicly declared his choice, and the emperor hasn't strongly objected. So it's practically a done deal. Su Wanning wears a newly made crimson palace gown. A golden 8-treasure crown adorns her head. She carries herself with the air of the future crown princess, accepting everyone's congratulations and flattery. She smiles, her eyes crinkling, but inside she feels uneasy. Xiao Yu has been missing since this afternoon. The banquet is about to begin. If he doesn't show up, this will be very awkward. Besides Xiao Yu's seat, there's another empty place at the table. That's Qing Yuan's spot. It's been that way for 8 years. Noticing it, Su Wanning's expression darkens instantly. She's gone. Why keep this seat? An eyesore. She strides over to the empty seat and kicks the low table over. Turning, she snaps at a palace maid. What is the meaning of this? Keeping a seat for a useless person at such an occasion. Have you lost your mind?
Please calm down, Crown Princess. This lowly maid deserves death. I'll remove it at once.
The maid scrambles to move the table. The hall falls silent. Some relatives lower their heads to sip tea. Others pretend to adjust their collars. No one dares to speak. The emperor sits at the head of the hall, his brow furrowed. The empress hesitates to speak. After all, the empress dowager sent word earlier to have her look after Su Wanning, so she can't really say anything. Just as the maid is about to carry the table away, the hall doors swing open. Xiao Yu walks in. He's changed his clothes. His eyes are red and swollen. He looks haggard. Far cry from his usual heroic self.
It's just one more table. No need for such anger. Leave it,
he says. His voice is soft, but carries undeniable authority. Your Highness, what do you mean? Xiao Yu didn't look at her. He just said calmly to the palace maid.
Set it back. Don't let outsiders think the crown prince's household lacks decorum.
The palace maid was taken aback. Seeing the crown prince's icy expression, she dared not disobey. She quickly moved the table back to its original place. Su Wanning's face turned pale, then flushed. Her fists were clenched tightly. But she still suppressed her anger, forcing out a false smile. Of course, Your Highness. I was being too particular. With that, she sat back down. But her eyes were frighteningly sinister. The royal relatives exchanged glances. The atmosphere grew even more awkward.
Today is a family banquet. No need for formality. Come, let's share a drink.
Everyone hurriedly chimed in. The clinking of wine cups temporarily eased the heavy air. After the banquet began, Su Wanning first picked up some crab roe and put it in Xiao Yu's bowl. She said softly, Your Highness, I remember you like this. Try it. Xiao Yu stared at the crab roe in his bowl. He suddenly remembered how Qing Yuan would carefully pick out the ginger shreds before handing it to him. But this Su Wanning before him didn't even know he disliked the taste of ginger. The hall was filled with toasts and cheerful chatter, but without Qing Yuan quietly sitting beside him, serving food and pouring wine, he felt an unprecedented loneliness and emptiness.
Enjoy the meal. I'm returning to the side hall first.
Your Highness, what's wrong?
I'm a bit tired.
He paid her no further mind and turned to leave. Stepping out of the main hall, the night wind blew, sobering him up a little. Passing by the side hall where Qing Yuan once lived, it was as if an invisible force pulled him. He found himself walking inside. The hall was pitch dark. He lit a candle. The dim light illuminated the room. It was empty. All the things that once belonged to Qing Yuan were gone, as if she had never lived there at all. Surge of rage shot through Xiao Yu. He hurried back to the main hall and confronted everyone present.
Who touched Qing Yuan's side chamber?
The guests' chatter and laughter came to an abrupt halt. Xiao Yu's fingers gripped the corridor pillar tightly. His knuckles turned white from the strain. A palace maid, trembling with fear, glanced at Su Wanning's expression. Then she cautiously replied,
Your Highness, it was on the Crown Princess's orders.
My lord, is such a trivial matter worth getting angry about? Qing Yuan herself said she wanted to move out of the Eastern Palace. She has no use for these old things anymore. So I had them all packed up and sent to the woodshed.
The woodshed?
Xiao Yu's voice suddenly rose sharply. Bloodshot veins appeared in his eyes. Su Wanning finally sensed something was wrong. but she still shrugged dismissively.
They're just some old clothes and books. Since she doesn't want them, keeping them would just take up space. Besides, I plan to turn that side chamber into a small study later. Those shabby items would look out of place there.
Xiao Yu's chest heaved violently, his vision blurred. Among those old things were medical texts Qing Yuan had copied for him. There were knee pads she had sewn with her own hands. Over 10 years of memories. And Su Wenning had casually tossed them into the woodshed.
How dare you? That was her chamber, her belongings. What right do you have to dispose of them without permission?
The hall fell deathly silent. Everyone was stunned by Xiao Yu's sudden outburst of rage.
Your Highness, today is the day I take charge of the Eastern Palace. For you to be this furious over a discarded woman is hardly appropriate, is it?
A discarded woman? Qing Yuan served in the Eastern Palace for over 10 years. She managed the household affairs flawlessly. Who dares call her discarded?
His words were like a slap striking Su Wenning hard across the face.
Your Highness, have you forgotten? Who was it that personally declared in court he would make me his consort? Who tacitly allowed her to leave the Eastern Palace? Who watched as she removed her hairpins and left barefoot? Now that she's gone, you're here putting on this hypocritical show. For whose benefit?
The Emperor and Empress hurriedly rose to smooth things over. But Xiao Yu couldn't hear a word of it. Su Wenning's words were like daggers, stabbing deep into his heart. Yes, he was the one who pushed Qing Yuan away. He allowed Su Wenning to humiliate her. He was the one who made the woman who gave everything for him leave in thin clothes, barefoot, making her the laughingstock of the palace.
Where are her things?
They should still be in the woodshed. They were just sent there at noon, to be dealt with tomorrow.
Xiao Yu turned and rushed out of the hall. Su Wenning grabbed his wrist, her nails digging into his flesh.
Your Highness, have you lost your mind? For Qing Yuan's worthless junk, you'd abandon me? Abandon all the royal relatives here?
Xiao Yu violently shook off her hand, with such force that Su Wenning staggered back, nearly falling.
Let go. They are not junk. They are...
His voice suddenly choked up. He couldn't continue. They are 8 years of Qing Yuan's life, proof that she once loved him. They are the only things he can still hold on to now, the only memory of her.
Your Highness, if you step out of this hall today, don't blame me.
What will you do?
Treat me like you did Qing Yuan? Make me leave the Eastern Palace too?
Su Wenning was left speechless. Her face turned pale. Cold sweat instantly soaked her temples. After all, she's just the newly appointed crown princess. Even with the Empress Dowager backing her, even with her brother being Su Meng, she has no right to expel the crown prince.
I was wrong, Your Highness. I shouldn't have disposed of Qing Yuan's things without permission. Nor should I have been disrespectful to you. It's pouring rain outside right now. When the rain stops tomorrow, I'll go with you to retrieve them. All right?
Xiao Yu didn't even look at her. He broke free from her grasp and rushed into the rain without looking back. Torrential rain pours down. It hammers against the bluestone path, kicking up a fine spray. Xiao Yu pays it no mind. He charges through the downpour. His robes are quickly soaked through. Clinging tightly to his body, rain mixes with tears as they stream down his face. He can't tell what's rain and what's tears on his face. His heart hammers wildly in his chest. A single thought echoes relentlessly in his mind. It's too late. Everything is too late. He wants to summon the guards to search for Qing Yuan, but his hand freezes midair. He suddenly remembers. When Qing Yuan left the palace, she even left behind the jade pendant symbolizing her status as a consort. What token for contact could possibly remain? Her calm eyes as she departed flash before him, and the finality with which she removed each piece of jewelry.
Qing Yuan.
Rain drips from the ends of his hair. A hoarse sound escapes his throat, drowned out by the relentless roar of the rain. The woodshed lies in the most remote corner of the Eastern Palace. A servant is about to lock up and rest for the night, when suddenly, a drenched figure stumbles inside.
Where are the things sent from the consort's chambers at noon?
Xiao Yu gasps, out of breath. Rain streams down his pale face. The servants exchange uneasy glances and point to a few wooden crates in the corner, soaked by the rain. The woodshed roof leaks. The crates were placed beneath the window and were already half drenched. Xiao Yu lunges toward them, fumbling to open the crates. Qing Yuan's clothes, her books, her journals, her embroidery, all submerged in murky rainwater. Ink has bled. Pages are stuck together. Silk has lost its color. Trembling, he picks up a sodden journal and carefully opens it. Qing Yuan's elegant handwriting has faded, but it's still legible. The 3rd day of the 12th lunar month. Yu was irritable from internal heat. I stewed a soothing lotus seed soup. I waited outside his study for 2 double hours, but he didn't touch a single bite. Fine. He didn't want to see me. The 7th day of the 3rd lunar month. Yu contracted smallpox. I nursed him for half a month. His fever finally broke. When Miss Su heard Yu was recovering, she chased me away. She sat by his bedside herself. When Yu woke and saw her, he smiled with such joy. The 9th day of the 7th lunar month, Yu had a dispute with the Minister of War, copied the border military reports overnight, and attached a mediation strategy, quietly placed it on his desk. He used my suggestion the next day, but credited his advisors. It's fine. As long as it helped him. Every word and sentence concealed affection. No resentment. No demands. Just quiet devotion. Quietly loving him, even though he never once looked back at her. Xiao Yu's vision blurred completely. He clasped the journal tightly, as if he could hold on to something this way. Hold on to the person he'd pushed away, now lost forever. Servant cautiously reminded him. Your Highness?
It's late. The rain is so heavy. Don't catch a chill.
Xiao Yu gripped the journal, then suddenly rushed into the rain. A stifled sob escaped him. Rain washed over his face, but couldn't cleanse the bone-deep regret. He turned and roared at the eunuch guarding the door, his voice breaking.
By my order as Crown Prince, search the entire city for Qing Yuan. I want to see her, alive or dead. Alive or dead. Search every corner of the capital until you find her.
The eunuch hastily assented. Xiao Yu knelt amidst the wreckage, holding Qing Yuan's old clothes, and finally broke down sobbing. He finally understood. What he had lost was a heart of such genuine love for 20 whole years. He mistook fish eyes for pearls, and genuine hearts for hypocrisy.
Qing Yuan.
Xiao Yu covered his face.
I'm sorry.
But this apology comes too late. Too late, for she has already left, resolute. Too late for him to even have a chance to make amends. The day I left the capital of Dachi was a rare sunny day. I sat in the carriage of the Liang envoy, watching the city walls fade into the distance. My heart was at peace. Murong Che rode his horse beside the carriage. His dark, fitted clothes accentuated his tall, straight posture. He seemed to sense my gaze. He turned his head and gave me a faint smile.
Do you regret it?
Never. I truly don't regret it. The humiliation and pain from the day I left the Eastern Palace, thinking back on it now, feels like a lifetime ago. Perhaps it's because my heart died, so I can no longer feel the pain. The envoy's procession moved at a leisurely pace. Murong Che said,
No rush. He wanted me to adjust slowly.
When we passed through towns along the way, he would take me out for a walk, to see the bustling life of Dachi. He knew I had been confined to the deep palace for years, rarely seeing the world beyond its walls.
Liang has streets like this too.
He said, pointing to a sugar painting stall.
But our sugar paintings are shaped like eagles and horses.
Listened quietly, occasionally asking a question or two about Liang's customs. Murong Che always answered patiently, his gaze gentle. He wasn't like Xiao Yu. Xiao Yu never spoke of such things with me. Xiao Yu always believed women only needed to manage the household, that court and state affairs were men's business. 7 days later, we arrived at the Liang royal capital. The architecture here was vastly different from Dachi's style, built mostly from massive stones, rugged and majestic. As the carriage entered the royal palace, I was stunned by the sight before me. The Dachi imperial palace was exquisite and ornate, with pavilions and towers, carved beams and painted rafters. But the Liang palace was grand and imposing. The palaces were built into the mountainside, layer upon layer, like a slumbering giant beast. Murong Che helped me out of the carriage.
Don't be afraid. My father may be stern, but he is reasonable.
He led me into the main hall. The king of Liang was seated on his high throne. Around 50 years old, with a stern face. He looked me over. His gaze felt like a physical weight. Curtsied gracefully. My demeanor was neither submissive nor arrogant. I am Qing Yuan. I greet your majesty, the king of Liang. The hall fell silent. After a long moment, the king finally spoke. His voice was deep and resonant. So you are the concubine the crown prince of Dachi cast aside like worn shoes. His words were sharp, but my expression remained unchanged. Yes. Heard you managed the Eastern Palace's affairs for 8 years, keeping that vast household in perfect order. I don't deserve such praise. I was only doing my duty. The king of Liang smiled. The smile softened his cold, hard features a little. Only doing my duty. Well said. Chair has told me about you, and about your capabilities. He rose to his feet, descended from the throne, and stopped before me. Lady Qing Yuan, here in Liang, we don't stand on ceremony like they do in Dachi. You have talent, so I will use it. Starting today, you are my palace edict envoy. You will assist Chair in handling state affairs, with the rank of a third-tier court official. I was stunned. Palace edict envoy? Rank equal to third tier? This would be unthinkable in Dachi. Woman serving as an official? Unheard of.
Father King's word is law. Take it.
Took a deep breath, knelt, and performed a deep bow. Qing Yuan, thanks your majesty for your trust. The king of Liang waved a hand.
Rise. Cher. Show her around the palace. Arrange her quarters. Starting tomorrow, she will attend court with you.
Yes. Walking out of the main hall, I was still a bit dazed.
Scared you?
No, I just didn't expect His Majesty to be so progressive.
Liang values martial prowess. It values ability over gender. When my mother was alive, she also assisted Father King with governance. Father King often said, to have talent and not use it is a loss for the kingdom.
My heart stirred slightly. A ruler like this, a kingdom like this, perhaps this is where I truly belong. Che settled me in the Tingshui Pavilion, east of the palace. Outside the pavilion was a plum grove. It wasn't yet in bloom, but the branches were strong and gnarled, hinting at its winter splendor. Che stood beneath the corridor, gazing at the plum grove.
Here, when snow falls in winter, the plums bloom. The view is magnificent.
Thank you for your consideration, Your Highness.
No need for thanks.
He turned to look at me, his gaze earnest.
Qing Yuan here. You can just be yourself. Do whatever you wish. No one will restrain you, and no one would dare look down on you.
Looked at him for a long moment, then nodded gently. From that day on, I became a court emissary of Northern Liang. At first, there were objections at court, but the king of Northern Liang overruled them all. And I proved, through my abilities, that this trust was not misplaced. I assisted Che in organizing border military reports, proposed policies for stationing troops to farm the land, reformed the crude internal affairs system of Northern Liang, and introduced the meticulous management of Dachi. Within 3 months, I reduced the royal household's expenses by 30%. I suggested opening trade routes with kingdoms beyond Dachi to the west, bringing new sources of wealth to Northern Liang. Che always supported me fully. In court, he shielded me from open and covert attacks. In private, we discussed state policies late into the night. He never dismissed my opinions because I was a woman, nor did he ever claim my achievements as his own. Gradually, the court officials' looks changed from suspicion to respect, and then to genuine trust. And within the Northern Liang Palace, I found a sense of peace and fulfillment like never before. Time flies. A year passes in the blink of an eye. With my counsel and Che's governance, Northern Liang grows stronger by the day. Trade routes to the western regions have opened. The border army's farming efforts are bearing fruit. Internal affairs are clear and orderly. The people are content. In the late autumn of that year, the king of Northern Liang decided to wage war against the Western Chang, who had repeatedly raided our borders. Che personally took command of the campaign. The night before his departure, he came to the Listening Snow Pavilion. I was under the lamplight, studying a map of the Western Chang terrain. Seeing him arrive, I rose to greet him. Your Highness. Che stood in full military attire, radiating a heroic aura. He walked to the desk and looked down at the markings I had made on the map. A glint of approval flashed in his eyes.
Your understanding of the Western Chang rivals that of our veteran generals.
Said softly. Your Highness departs for battle tomorrow. Please be careful in all matters. Che suddenly took my hand, trembled slightly but did not pull away. Over this past year, he has treated me exceedingly well, respecting me, supporting me, protecting me. My heart is not made of stone. Naturally, I can feel his affection, but the wounds from my past life run too deep. I dare not easily touch upon matters of the heart again.
Qing Yuan.
Che's voice was especially clear in the silent night.
If I return victorious from this campaign, would you be willing to be my wife?
Was stunned for a moment.
Know you've been hurt, that you dare not trust in love again.
He tightened his grip on my hand.
I'm not in a hurry. I can wait. 1 year, 2 years, 10 years. Until the day you are willing to trust me. Just want you to know, in my heart, you have never been a discarded consort. You are simply you, the one and only Qing Yuan, the one I, Che, wish to spend my life with.
The candle crackles, reflecting in his deep eyes. I gaze at him, for a long while. I ask softly, why do you like me? Che smiles.
Do you remember that osmanthus cake in the Imperial Garden 3 years ago?
I remember.
Back then, I felt this world was dark and cold, with nowhere to call home. It was you who showed me there's still sweetness. There's still warmth.
He raises his hand, gently brushing aside the stray hairs at my temple.
Later, I inquired about you. I learned you were not doing well in the Eastern Palace. Yet you remained gentle and resilient. And then later, I saw you, covered in wounds, outside the palace gates. That's when I thought, in this lifetime, I will protect you. Will never let you suffer the slightest grievance again.
My eyes begin to feel warm.
Qing Yuan.
He calls my name. His voice is soft, like a sigh.
Give me a chance. Will you?
Outside the window, the autumn wind howls. Inside, the candlelight is warm. I look at the undisguised affection in his eyes. My heart stirs slightly, as if something inside has cracked open, letting warmth flow out. All right, I say. When you return victorious, we shall marry. A brilliant light bursts forth in Murong Che's eyes. He leans down and places a gentle, precious kiss on my forehead.
Wait for me to return.
3 months later, Murong Che defeated the Western Chang and returned in triumph. The capital of Liang was empty, as everyone lined the streets to welcome him. I stood on the palace tower, watching Murong Che on his steed approach from afar. He looked up, met my gaze, and broke into a bright smile. At that moment, I knew. I had made the right choice. After the victory banquet, the king of Liang issued an edict, betrothing Crown Prince Murong Che to court envoy Qing Yuan. The news spread, and the entire nation of Liang celebrated. And this joyous news, carried by merchant caravans and envoys, spread to neighboring countries. The deposed consort of Dachi is going to marry the crown prince of Liang.
What deposed consort?
That's Liang's court envoy, the one who helped the crown prince pacify the western regions. Back when she left the palace, she was only wearing a simple dress, looking utterly wretched. Wonder if the eastern palace of Dachi will regret it when they hear this. They definitely will. The eastern palace today is no longer as glorious as before.
Serves them right.
Who made them discard a capable person like trash? Meanwhile, in Dachi at the Eastern Palace, when Xiao Yu received the secret report, he was reviewing memorials. When he saw the line, Crown Prince Murong Che of Liang will marry court envoy Qing Yuan, the vermilion brush in his hand snapped with a crack, splattering ink all over the paper.
You're getting married,
He muttered to himself, his eyes blank. For the past year, he had never stopped searching for Qing Yuan, but Liang kept her too well protected. All our spies came back empty-handed. You could only glean from scattered reports that she was doing well in Liang. Highly valued. He was happy for her. But now, she's getting married. Your Highness.
A wedding invitation has arrived from Liang.
Bring it here.
The invitation was exquisitely made. In gilded letters, it read, "The joyous union of Murong Che and Qing Yuan." The wording was proper, yet every word stung. Xiao Yu stared at the invitation. Suddenly, he felt short of breath. He remembered in his past life, when Qing Yuan married him, it was also with a marriage certificate like this. Back then, she was overjoyed. Her eyes were full of adoration. But now, she's marrying someone else.
Prepare my horse. I'm going to Liang.
Your Highness, you mustn't! You are the Crown Prince of Dachi. How can you personally attend a wedding in an enemy state? And what about Lady Su?
Silence! Don't mention Su Wenning to me.
Over this past year, Su Waning's true nature has gradually been revealed. She has no idea how to manage the Eastern Palace. She's made a complete mess of internal affairs, embezzlement, nepotism, bullying the palace staff. In just half a year, the Eastern Palace was filled with complaints. Court officials whispered among themselves, saying the Crown Prince chose a pebble over a pearl, a truly unwise decision. He once confronted Su Waning about taking credit for others' work. Su Waning tried to deny it at first, but when she couldn't wriggle out of it, she actually said with righteous indignation, "Yes, did take the credit. So what? Now that your Highness knows, does that mean you can bring Qing Yuan back? She's hated you for a long time now. She'll never forgive you in this lifetime." At that moment, Xiao Yu truly wanted to strangle her, but he couldn't. Su Waning has the Empress Dowager behind her and the Su family army. The Emperor's health is failing by the day. The court is unstable. He couldn't afford any more complications. He could only endure it. Watching the Eastern Palace decline day by day, watching the court officials turn against him, watching himself go from the widely supported crown prince to a private laughingstock in court and country.
Prepare my horse. I'm going to see her.
Xiao Yu secretly arrived at the northern Liang capital. On the day of the grand wedding, the capital was decorated with lanterns and streamers, full of joyous celebration. Disguised as a merchant, Xiao Yu blended into the crowd, watching the wedding procession pass through the long street. I was wearing northern Liang-style wedding attire, red with gold embroidery, sitting in an ornately decorated carriage. My eyes were clear and bright. Murong Che rode on horseback ahead, frequently looking back at me. His eyes were overflowing with tenderness. Xiao Yu felt as if a piece of his heart had been carved out. The pain nearly made him lose his footing. The procession reached the palace gates. Murong Che dismounted and personally helped me down from the carriage. Right at that moment, Xiao Yu could no longer hold back. He rushed forward.
Qing Yuan!
The guards immediately drew their swords to block him.
The Crown Prince of Dachi arrives uninvited. What is your business here?
Qing Yuan, I want to talk to you. May I? Just for a moment.
Looked at him calmly. It's been a year. He looks much more haggard. His eyes were bloodshot. Gone was the spirited look he once had. Your Highness, what is it?
Was wrong, Qing Yuan. I truly know I was wrong. I've investigated what happened back then. Su Wanning took credit for saving me. I was blind. I wronged you.
I know.
You know?
Actually, in our previous life, we were already even. Besides, Xiao Yu, The ways you've wronged me are far more than just this. 20 years of neglect in our past life, dying with unavenged grievances. Public humiliation in this life, driven out barefoot, made a laughingstock. Every instance, every single one of them. I remember them all.
So you also...
Enough. Today is my wedding day. I don't wish to dwell on the past. Your Highness, please leave.
Qing Yuan.
Shall I deal with him?
No need. Let him go.
Escort the Crown Prince of Dachi out of the city. He is not to linger.
As Xiao Yu was forcibly taken away, he was still screaming my name. I did not look back. The wedding ceremony resumed. The main palace hall. The king of Liang himself presided as the officiant. Murong Che and I bowed to heaven and earth, exchanged tokens, and drank the ceremonial wedding wine. Just as the rites concluded, an urgent report arrived from outside the hall. An envoy presented a sealed letter. Murong Che opened it. His brow raised slightly. Then he passed the letter to me. It read, "In Dachi, the Eastern Palace was in turmoil because Su Wanning embezzled from the imperial treasury, formed cliques for personal gain, and framed loyal ministers. This caused a massive upheaval in the court. The emperor was furious. He issued an edict deposing Crown Prince Xiao Yu to a commoner. Su Wanning was thrown into the imperial prison to be executed after autumn. Su Meng raised a rebellion on the frontier. After I finished reading, I just smiled faintly and set the secret letter aside. Karma is real, and retribution is certain. Soon, the wedding ceremony began. Murong Che held my hand, and we walked step by step toward the altar. My phoenix crown and embroidered robes shimmered under the candlelight, breathtakingly beautiful. The moment we exchanged tokens, I caught a glimpse of a familiar figure from the corner of my eye. He stood far outside the hall, looking desolate. Murong Che seemed to sense it. He followed my gaze, then the corner of his lips curled into a knowing smile.
Qing Yuan, do you regret withdrawing from the Crown Princess selection in Dachi back then?
Didn't answer. Instead, I rose on my toes and kissed his lips. The kiss was gentle yet firm, as if declaring my choice to the heavens and earth. Cheers of blessing filled the hall. When I looked up again, that familiar figure had already turned and left. His retreating back looked thin and lonely, gradually disappearing at the end of the palace path. Xiao Yu's appearance was like a silent farewell, and a final look back at my past life, but I've never regretted my choice. Murong Che tightly held my hand. His fingers were warm and strong. I looked at him. His gaze was clear and resolute. I took a deep breath, cast aside all distracting thoughts, and gave him a relieved smile. For the rest of our lives, we'll never leave each other's side. How does that sound? A faint glimmer appeared in the corner of Murong Che's eyes. He nodded solemnly. Yes,